Hey, blessings, everybody. So this is the book I wrote about my travels around the country as a bum, and I'm just going to read you the first chapter today. Chapter 1: Paving the Way. Life is like dominoes. Once they start falling, there's no turning back. Why the fuck did I come to town today? Banging my head against the car's cage, wrist pinched by the cuffs, all I could think was, why did I not listen to myself? I had a feeling today was the day they would come looking for me, but I needed to score and downtown was the place to be. This was my second time being busted for meth and going AWOL from probation. Surely they would not release me to the streets again. I just turned 18, no family, no place to go, and no hope of ever escaping this life. I've been a ward of the state since 13, sent from group home to juvenile hall, drug rehab to youth prison. The only freedoms I've ever known were those times I ran away and lived on the streets or surfed friends' couches. I could not say I was miserable, nor would I say I was happy. I just lived as if tomorrow would never come. Drugs were my constant companion, always keeping me safely buffered from my pathetic life. I'm not sure what is worse, having my freedom once again taken from me, or finally realizing that deep down inside I was a lost cause. I cannot remember how many times I sat there just like this, helplessly in prison, knowing that my future held nothing for me. I hated my life, my third pair of parents who abandoned me, and this damn system whose claws were deeply embedded in my life. I could not escape. No matter how hard I fought or how far I ran, I was caught like a fish on a fucking hook, and they just kept reeling me in. This is going to be my second time going to youth prison. California Youth Authority was like the prep school for a life behind bars. I had all the classic markers. Nobody to support or love me, nowhere to go, and no hope of changing my ways. At least that was what I thought standing there before the judge as he added 9 more months to my wasted life. That night I sat on my bunk and started to read away my days. I love reading. It's the only way to teleport myself away from these 4 cold walls. I taught myself to read in jail, and since then, prison has never been the same. So here I was reading some engrossing novel when the cell door opened and a scraggly kid walks through the threshold with his bedding. There are 2 key moments that define your stay in prison. The moment you meet your cellmate and your first time in the yard. Who was he? What was he in for? What does he know? 1,000 questions popped into my mind, but the only thing that came out was, what are you in for? Thankfully, Pirate, my new bunkie, was in there for the same reason I was. Drugs and parole violation. If there was ever a defining moment in my life that I could point to, a pivotal time when everything would change, this was it. Pirate was a traveler, a kid from the streets who sold drugs, traveled the country, and lived the freest life one could ever dream of living. He was my first true teacher. He taught me the way of the road. I've lived on the streets of Santa Barbara many times and have even hung out with kids just like him. But only now did I fully understand this new world that awaited me. We bunked together for a month, him telling me war stories of his life on the road and me dreaming of a new life. This was the first time I can remember ever hoping of something else. He spoke of family, the dead family, the rainbow family, the hippie family. This was it. This was my ticket the fuck out of here, and I was going to take it. We made plans to meet up. I told him I would be in Santa Barbara in 9 months, and that as soon as he got out, we would travel together. I made plans, big plans. I created a completely new persona in my mind. I was to become Jester the Halfbeard. And so I became him. 9 months later, I found myself standing on the streets of Santa Barbara surrounded by strangers. Just shy of 19 years, I was once again homeless. No job, no money, and no place to stay. I wrote to Pirate only to find out he still had 3 months to go, so I got a job at an electronics company as I waited for his release. I was making $20 an hour, but because of the company's paycheck policy and one bad LSD investment, I was penniless for over a month. During that time, I slept on the company's roof at night and went downtown during the day to beg for food. One day, while begging for money, a guy walked by and told me to get a job. Of course, I had to tell him to bend over and give me one. I could not believe my life. I had a great job but no money to show for it. At that moment, I decided to leave. I could not wait for Pirate. I had to go. I knew my life was a ticking time bomb. At any moment, I would be drug tested and sent back to prison. I got a check and gave it to another friend of mine so that he could fix his van and we could leave together. He was going to fix it on Friday, but the next morning when I went to work, I decided to leave. I just handed over $1,200, and without a care about it, I put my other pair of pants and 2 t-shirts in a bag with my book and started walking out of town. I had no idea what I was doing. The pull to leave was so strong that all rational thought left me. One step after another, I was out of here. While walking up State Street, I hooked up with 3 other travelers headed to the Shasta Rainbow Gathering. They asked me if I wanted to go with them. For the first time in my life, I felt part of something. These 3 travelers knew nothing of me nor I of them, and yet were family. As we walked out of town, a young lady handed us $20 for no other reason than she thought we needed it. This was the first of many amazing synchronicities I would come to experience on the road ahead of me. I could not believe the joyous feeling I felt at that moment. I was free. Oh, blessings.